Ahoy hoy! Welcome back to my bunker. This week an interesting one. This was found in a tip. And one day we'll be able to go back to tips and put our rubbish there and recycle them properly. But in the meantime, it's this thing, which looks a bit like an SG, but is about as far away from that as you can get. First thing you've got to notice, it's a bolt-on neck. Second thing, hopefully, is you've got a strange whammy bar system down here. It's a bit like it's like a cross between the sort of Jaguar and Bigsby. The most interesting thing about it is that it goes over a set of multi-sized rollers, depending upon the string. So the middle ones are larger rollers to move them higher up. The name is Arbiter. Who's Arbiter? Well, I think it was Rose Morris's name for when they imported things into the country in the late 60s and 70s. Sort of historical fact. Before China was in play for cheap imports, it was Japan. And before Japan, which was sort of 80s, in the 60s and 70s, it was Italy. And how people used to buy guitars into this country en masse from Italy was that ships would literally be loaded up with a container of these. The container would turn up, and some chap would say, right, I'll take that lot and that lot. And they'd take them in and put on their own branding. So in the States, I believe some of these came under the name K. The giveaway is this string tree here, which lots of guitars had. Made on the cheap for mass production. That said, is there anything much wrong with them? Well, they're not up to the standards of today's production. For example, the tuning pegs are all on one great block. It's what we would call nowadays a multi-ply neck. I love multi-ply necks. There's a lot of very good reasons to have multiple plies of timber in there. Mainly because it will stop, or rather reduce, twisting and bending of the timber. So this has got 3 plies, not equal. They're not there to make art, they're there to make a piece of wood that won't twist and bend. You put 2 or 3 plies together, you glue them up. If one wants to twist one way, the other 2 will stop it, or try and prevent it. And the glue as well is in fact even stronger than the timber itself. So the glue between the plies means that you get quite a stable neck. These are quite wide, not as fat as I've ever seen. They were great beginner guitars. The frets are usually quite thin. These are very thin. Neck adjustment is down here, which has come back into prevalence and sort of trends now. And it's a couple of single coils on there, which you've got volume, 2 tones, and 2 on-off switches. If memory serves, yet again the electronics is a bit poor, but let's see. Ta-da. Well, it hardly needs tuning. Give me a second. Well, that's good, isn't it? What I'm playing with is a Fender Deluxe, a VM, I like the Fender Deluxe. I've got a couple of them back there. Fender Deluxe Reverb was basically the twin but a single speaker. There was a second version which was my favourite back there, which was Paul Riviera brought it into the 80s with the Deluxe Reverb 2. This is probably about a 2008 version that Fender tried to do, which has got digital effects on the back end of it. Doesn't make it a bad valve amp, it's just got a little bit of reverb on, so. Obviously the big problem with this, as with any guitar with a tremolo that floats, is that it wants to go out of tune. So great fun sounding. Single on there. Yeah, sounds great. We'll touch something there. Also, you've got to have a fuzz box. So my favourite at the moment is a big Muff. Let's see what song that sounds we can get putting a bit of dirt on it. Wonderful to me. bad for what was probably a 50 quid guitar. It needs a little bit of cleaning up. I've done a fair amount. There was writing all over the fretboard where people are putting what the notes were, or I think in this case even the number of the frets. I guess people do that. It's missing a knob. The likelihood of me ever finding an Arbiter knob from the 70s on a guitar that's probably older than me is 0. As with all these things, the wiring's got a bit dirty over time. Next time I restring it, I'll take it all out and give it a bit of a blast with the old contact cleaner. But, you know, if you want to pretend to be a grungy person and have a cheap, nasty looking guitar that makes a couple of really good noises. I mean, there's a surf guitar or a sort of country guitar. It's got the noise. It's got the sound there. You want it as a fuzz guitar? Well, frankly, everything sounds great through a big Muff. And not bad for 50 quid. Let's find out what's next in Gavin's Grotty guitars. Bye!
What's up?